Hey everyone, and welcome to the second installment of our Sunday Recap series. This is a series where we are looking back on Sundays in the middle of the week to remind us what we discussed, to help you know what we're talking about if you have to miss for some reason, and for families to be able to work through our content together, whether it's around the dinner table or in the car. It allows us to have meaningful discussion when we're all on the same page. Right now, we are doing a study called A Sacred Season, where we are looking at the back to school season and trying to identify what really matters to us. We talked about that last week when we talked about identifying our rocks. We used a visual with rocks and pebbles and sand to help us see we need to prioritize what matters most first so that our days aren't filled up with distractions and things that don't matter. And this week, we're talking about shifting perspectives. Specifically, we're going to take a look at tasks and values and how those things can work together to support what matters most to us. Oftentimes, we have found that it's easy for our to-do list and our schedule to be the thing that run our lives rather than the things that we believe in and the things that we really care deeply about. Sometimes that's because what we have to do every day requires time and energy, and while that's true, it's important that we put a lot of emphasis on the things that really matter so that we can spend time on them as well. So there are a couple of passages as well as an exercise that we have worked on to help us really put this into perspective for this school year. The first passage is from Psalm 40. This is one of David's Psalms, and it's a song that he wrote for corporate worship. It's a song for everyone to sing together, even though the words have come out of his own personal experience. And what David shares in verses 4 and 5 of this psalm say this: "Blessed is the man," or for us, woman, "who makes the Lord his trust, who does not turn to the proud, to those who go astray after a lie. You have multiplied, O Lord my God, your wondrous deeds and your thoughts toward us. No one can compare with you. I will proclaim and tell of them, yet they are more than can be told." The reason we focus on this as we are starting the back to school season is that it's really easy for us to kind of get caught up in all the different requirements of our world. And so what David wants people to recognize is God is worthy of putting our trust in, and he is where we should be setting our eyes, setting our focus, and trusting in rather than in the things of this world. David wants to remind the congregation and the people that God is steadfast and he is the one that cannot be compared to. Everything pales in comparison to our God. And so that sometimes is what happens on our to-do lists. We are so worried about checking things off that we forget to express gratitude for the good gifts that we've received. Below, you'll see a link to a worksheet that's actually based off of a little activity that was in this month's Magnolia Journal by Chip and Joanna Gaines. And it's a way for us to take our tasks or our to-do list items and compare them to our values. And it changes the way we look at the things we have to do every day. If we find a correlation between jobs and what we really care about. So for example, maybe you think of laundry as a task and caring for your family as a value. Well, if we think of laundry as something that's just something to be accomplished, it's probably never going to be fun or feel like something to be thankful for. But if we think of laundry as a way to serve our family so that everyone is clothed and prepared to go out into the world, it makes laundry feel a little bit more like a sacred job. If we don't necessarily love the task of homework, but we do value education, homework goes from being something monotonous that needs to be checked off to something that helps us further our education, helps us to be prepared for the next day, helps us to learn more deeply. And while it does not change our homework assignment, it could change our heart. And that's the whole point of this exercise, to consider the way we are called to things that might be different than what we've considered in the past. We're going to wrap up today with a passage from Hebrews chapter 12. This is verse 2 and 3, and it says, "Looking to Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God. Consider him who endured from sinners such hostility against himself, so that you may not grow weary or faint-hearted. I love that we are reminded in Scripture to not grow weary. It is easy at the start of the school year to feel like we're spinning our wheels, or to forget that the things that we are doing in our day-to-day lives affect our whole life. And so we hope that this week, as we shift our perspectives, as we consider what matters most to us, how to grow in our faith, in our home and personal life, and in our school, that we will not grow weary because we are fixing our eyes on Jesus. He is with us, He is steadfast, and He is faithful. This coming Sunday, we have our kickoff event on August the 22nd. It will be outside in the Magnolia lot unless it is thunderstorming, and we'll be in the gym. It's a time of fellowship and fun as we prepare for and celebrate the upcoming school year. Join us from 5 to 6. We cannot wait to see you there.